Our musical accompaniment played the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous skies o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Brad. And then we thought it would be fitting to not only honor John today, but also those who have fallen and those who did not make it back with us. So we would like to have the playing of taps in a moment of silence. Everyone.
Go guard, right, big! Boat, boat! To the left, boat! To the left, boat! To the right, boat!
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, John and the Souls of Honor for doing that. It was very, very impressive. So, my name's Kevin Thompson. I'm the president of Hogs for Heroes, and we thought it important to just take a couple of minutes to tell you who we are in our mission. It won't take a long time because I think most of you are here because you know of our work. But our mission is pretty simple. We aim to support injured Wisconsin veterans by reconnecting them with the road and the biker community, and to do that through the gifting of a Harley-Davidson, which is obviously what we're here to do today. Our mission, we accomplish it in a pretty simple way. It's basically my wife Audra and I, and a couple other people who help us, and we do fundraising in various venues and opportunities across the state. When we raise enough money, we get to choose a worthy veteran, and we have several of them here today with us, and we give them a motorcycle. And I do want to note, as I said, we've got several of them. We're here to honor John today, but we're also very fortunate to have the first recipient of one of our motorcycles, retired Marine Lance Corporal Scott Crookton. And retired Marine Brian Vitek, Sergeant of the Guard. So our slogan we've adopted is one bike at a time, one hero at a time. And the reason we chose that is we're a small group, we're local, we're Wisconsin. We understand there's a lot of big challenges and problems in this world and in the veteran community. And we didn't feel, we could tackle all those. But what could we do? And we thought we could make the difference in the life of a single veteran at a time, and then they can pay that forward. And at the same time, I want everybody to know it's not, just about John or Scott or Brian. It's about all veterans. And we hope by doing this, it raises awareness for veterans in general and all they have done for our country. So we use that vehicle of a bike and these presentations to honor all veterans. And a couple things about us that I think are a little unique that I just want to stress is, first, like I said, we're local. We're just Wisconsin, and we try to keep it that way. And the second, and probably the thing we're most proud of, is all donations to Hogs for Heroes, literally 100% of every donation, of every dollar, goes to that vet and to that bike. There's no overhead costs or anything else. So that's very important. But that's more about you folks than it is us. I just want to let you know that that's what we do and how we do it. And then the third part is, that we think really important, is if you're donating to our cause and you know the money's going to the vets, that you get to meet them. And that's the purpose of these presentations and the celebrations. And I hope you get a chance to talk to John, talk to Brian, talk to Scott, to hear about the difference it's made in their lives and how you've helped them. And then in turn, how they help others moving forward. Because it's quite powerful. We know it works. We've seen it in action and that it does work. So in a little under 2 years, we have managed to gift 3 Harley Davidsons. And I said 2 of the folks are here with us. And obviously we're here today to do our 4th. And we're extremely excited about that. And there's a lot of people that helped to make that happen. So I'd like to bring up my wife, the Vice President of Hogs for Heroes, my wife Audra, to thank a lot of the organizations that made this possible.
Thank you. We are very grateful that you are all here today with us, that you took time out of your schedule, that you made the extra effort, that you put one more thing on your to-do list. We appreciate your support. A little over 2.5 years ago, when we decided that we were going to do this, we felt very pleased with the thought that we could do 1 veteran a year. We do this on the side of jobs, on the side of life, on the side of families, and we thought we'd be doing pretty good to do 1. And in 16 months, to be here today with you, returning our 4th veteran to the road, is simply mind-blowing to us. And we don't get to that point without a lot of help and support, and without a lot of thank yous to be made. So my first thank you is always our most important, and that is to our military and our military families. To those brave men and women who are actively serving now across our great nation and our country, and in particularly challenging times, we are grateful and thank them. And to our veterans, many of you who are standing here today, and the families who supported you through the ups and downs and the joys and challenges, we thank each and every one of you. And it's because of you that we do what we do here at Hogs for Heroes. So thank you. And to those mothers and fathers, those wives and husbands, those brothers and sisters, family, friends, children, whose loved one paid the ultimate price in honoring and securing our freedoms, our hearts are full, and we thank them as well. That's always my toughest one, and now that I've gotten through that, I can move a little bit forward to our gratefulness and our true honor to be here today with the support of Harley Davidson of Wausau. Huge shout out to them. I can tell you, from the moment we called Doug, he was in. He was excited, he was involved, he was attentive, and he and his team were incredibly generous. I don't know if each of you have had the chance to read the announcement that we've shared with our public, but between John's choice in bike and Doug's incredible generosity, we have over $2,000 left in the tank and headed straight towards that next veteran and bike pairing, which is huge. They are throwing this party today to honor and support all. And he has been very clear in saying to us, this is not about them. This is about John and all of you and what we do. So really, that's huge. Another shout out goes to Ray McSherry and all he did to help organize the different groups being here, our Honor Guard. I see American Legions, I see Souls of Honor, I know there's VFW in here. I am thrilled that you are here with us today. To the Lions Club, the Rib Mountain Lions Club are out here tempting all of us with those great smells. Please be sure to share in what they're cooking and have a brat and enjoy afterwards. And Brad, we haven't heard you yet, but I'll tell you what, if that national anthem was anything for what we're in store for, we want to thank you for being here today. And our last thank you goes to you, our supporters. Sharing in our enthusiasm, passing on the word, helping other people know what we do. We're just a small group of 4 grateful Americans. None of us served. We do this because we now serve you. So thank you for sharing in our enthusiasm. To our donors, thank you. We do what we can do because of your support. And as Kevin said, that's 100% straight to that next bike. So thank you for trusting us and supporting us and helping us make more magic happen. Appreciate you all being here.
Thanks, so we're building to the fun part, trust me. So I wanted to just take a moment to talk about John. As Audrey said, it is out on our website, his story. We put it out on Facebook, so I'm not going to go through the whole story. But there's just a couple highlights I always like to hit. John is a Marine. John enlisted when he was 17 years old, served our country for 6 years. And during that time, he earned a Purple Heart, largely as a result of a remote detonated IED while he was serving in Afghanistan. And because of that and some other challenges and incidents, he was medically retired at the age of 23. And after his retirement, he has been judged 100% permanent and total disabled. Yet he is here today with his beautiful wife, his 2 kids. He's before you to show you how he is still fighting, how he is still trying, and how he's making something of himself. And what I do in these situations, a lot of people ask us, well, how do you choose, which vet? We have an application process, and we'd be happy to talk to you more about all that. I only bring it up to say it's probably the hardest thing we do, yet in some of the ways the most rewarding, because we learn so much with each application we get and each time we go through this. I know I learned so much more. We have an advisory board that helps us with that. Scott is one of the people on our advisory board, so I want you to know we have military, we have veterans, we have all sorts of disciplines that help us review these. And I always try to take a moment, or what are a couple things I learned through this latest application process and from John, and in talking to John and Amber. We got to spend about 10 hours in the car with Amber going up to see John. We can tell you about that later. So we learned a lot. But 2 things if I can. The first is I realized I'm getting really old. And I say that not about myself, because to think about that John, when he put in the application, was 27 years old. and again, it's not just a kid about age, but to bring up the fact of here's somebody who served our country for 6 years, and at the age of 23 is judged permanent and total disabled. That's pretty mind-boggling to me. My kids are about John's age. I was still in school. I didn't know, which way was up when I was 23 years old. And here he is, from serving our country, now facing the rest of his life and the raising of his family and his children, with that challenge and with those disabilities. Yet he's here and he's doing it, and we're here to honor that today. And the second that I just want to touch on that I think I've really learned throughout this process, but particularly with John, is the nature of his injuries. And that is largely, there's numerous, I'm not going to go through the whole medical history, but is PTSD from a traumatic brain injury. And man, I got to watch my language here, there's little kids, but that's a bugger. I obviously can't say I know it. I don't live through that. I don't live with that every day. But John does, and Scott does, and Brian does. And probably the thing that I really hone in on, which I think is most difficult, is you look at these three gentlemen, you talk to them, and if you're not in the veteran community and you don't understand these issues, I hear all kinds of people say, they look fine to me. Why aren't they working? And when I talk to the families and I hear how they have to justify themselves to others who didn't serve our country and didn't go through it, and have to explain why I can't work or why I don't work. And they don't want to. They don't do it to get glory or honor. But unfortunately, our society these days asks those questions. And as much as we have made, I think, huge progress in helping those with physical disabilities, whether that was from service or combat or not, I think as a society we can be really proud of that. You see the things they do now with prosthetics and others in the Paralympics and in the games where you see the veterans compete. It's amazing, running marathons, climbing mountains, and that's tremendous. But what I want to note, if you take one thing away from today, is to think about what we can do and to help our society do is get a greater awareness and understanding of the non-physical injuries, whether that's a TBI, whether that's PTSD, or all the things that are related to it, because it's every bit as much of a disability, of an injury, as an arm or a leg. And in some ways it's a bigger challenge, because how would you like to be trying to raise your young family, doing everything you can, yet be told basically you can't work, and then have people question that choice or that situation you're in? That's a bugger. But we are here today to help him with that. And that is too part of our mission we talk about, because every now and then too we get some questions about, why Harley Davidsons? That's sort of an expensive toy, isn't it? And I think the people here in this crowd understand that that isn't true. And the reason we chose that and how to make a difference in people's lives is the healing that that can bring from being out on that road and back in a community like this. And the motorcycle is what gives that entree to get back and connect both with your veteran brothers and sisters and just with the community, and then hopefully pay it forward. So that's why a motorcycle and why we do what we do. And I can tell you, if you talk to Brian and Scott, the difference it's made in their lives. And our second recipient who wasn't able to join us today, I'll just give you a quick, the second bike, it was last September in Fond du Lac. And he's very open that he struggles a lot with PTSD, he had some addiction issues, suicide questions and problems. He got that bike last September, and Scott, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's put 22,000 miles on that bike since last September. And he hasn't been to a single therapy session at the VA, so how about that? That's tremendous. So with that, I'm going to stop here a moment. John has said he'd like to say a few words, and we told him that's his choice, but he would just like to address the crowd and say thank you.
All right, I'm not good at talking to big crowds. I used to talk to platoons and stuff. But, I just want to say sorry in advance. I know I'm going to miss a lot of people. But First, I want to say thank you to Scott. Without you, I wouldn't know about this. You told me to my. Sorry, I've held it together pretty good for this whole thing, but this is big. So I want to say thanks to everybody for taking the time out of the day for coming to this. I want to say thanks to Irish, having people lined up at 9:30 this morning to ride in. That was big. Big shout out to Fish and Bear for helping me select the bike. I mean, you really turned me on. You knew a lot about everything. It was good. Thanks to Doug for putting everything together in such a short notice. I mean, that was really good. Say thanks to my wife and kids for supporting me, helping me apply, and all my family. The biggest thanks to Kevin and Audrey for what you do. Such amazing people. Can't thank you enough. Thanks again.
Nice job, John. Thank you. All right. All right, like I said, now we're getting to the real fun part. But if you indulge me 1 minute. See this little gentleman here in the Harley Davidson shirt? That's his son, Bo, his daughter, Riley. And Bo had a big day yesterday. Hey, Bo, what happened yesterday? It was his 4th birthday, so if you see him, tell him happy birthday. Well, I now have a set of keys in my pocket. Yes. And I'm going to hand them to Scott because he was our first recipient. Thank you, brother. Brian, our third, and then on to Scott, to John, pardon me. And then I think what we need to do as a group is say, where's John's Harley? Everybody? Where's John's Harley, huh? Come on. There you go. Why don't you take a seat on that, John? Come on up, guys. You can see Dad's Harley. You bet. Oh, yeah, but you can't get soda on Dad's bike. That'd be a no-no. Need a hand? All right, how about that, folks?
There you go. 3 people on the boat. Sweet.
Hey, John, you want to fire that up? I think everybody'd like to hear that one more time, huh? All right. That's the sound of freedom right there. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Please hang around for a while. We got Brad's going to be playing music for quite a while. We got the Lions Club, the Ribble Mountain Lions Club. I say that because I goofed it up earlier. They're here. They're going to be serving brats. We'd love to hang out. Come see us over at the tent for Hogs for Heroes. We'd love to tell you more about what we do. And we have one more thing. Excuse me. Here we go, Irish.
On behalf of the American Legion of Riders, what's the next one?
Thank you very much. Thank you all. All right, well, I hope everybody, please hang around, have a good time, enjoy the afternoon, and thank you for being here. I'll turn it over to Brad.